Now, can you sing us maybe a Gesar song?
You want a Gesar song?
Yeah, Gesar song.
Okay. Let's see. Sondaya la 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 liya lita la la mulu da la liya sondaya la cha to ma karmu che ya chuni to ma lo ngi mo che ya sondaya cha so re so gumbo che ya minga danga ngolo bahina ya sondaya ni ni no min karmo ya sawo la se lo jorala ya sondaya pa ma ya le bang la de ya nyong da no de no din da ye. Yes.
Wow, thank you.
That is,
That's amazing. But you had to, can you just give us a small translation of the whole song?
Yeah. So that's actually just the beginning of the song. That is before Gesar was king, when he was a child. He was called Joru. And one of his guardian deities, his sacred aunt, who we call Manene Kamo in Tibetan, but there's different words for her.
Anituchi Chembo we call.
Anituchi Chembo, yeah, exactly. There's different names, same person. She comes to him in a vision and explains that he needs to arrange the horse race by tricking his uncle into believing that his uncle's arranging the horse race. So this part of the song, Manene Kamo is invoking white Tara, green Tara, the Jigsun Gombo, all the Buddhism bodhisattvas, and then she introduces herself as Manene Kamo, and then she addresses Joru and tells him, listen carefully and with absolute attention because I'm about to give you instructions. And then the way the song goes on, she describes how he's going to arrange the horse race, how he's going to trick his uncle, how he's going to get his horse and his treasures and all these things. But I just sang the very beginning.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So that's the whole real start of the horse race, which leads to him becoming king, leads to him marrying Shicham Domo, the whole shebang.
Okay.
So the super short version is I look at the epic of King Gesar of Ling and its impact on modern Himalayan life. And because that's way too broad of a thing to do in a single PhD, I'm specifically looking at two locations in eastern Tibet that are very related to that. One is a 1,000-year-old monastery with an unbroken lineage all the way back to King Gesar's own teacher. And the other is a 10-year-old hotel. And yeah, it's really interesting because, and I'm looking at how people participate in this. There's the Gesar Palace Hotel. Anybody can go. It's in the middle of town. It's got karaoke on the first floor.
And it's 10 years old though.
It's only 10 years old.
Okay.
And meanwhile, we have this monastery that's like 5 hours off-road and has the actual relics of King Gesar and his warriors. But the two are intricately connected. They are a partnership. And to me, it's really interesting the way people choose to participate in this. People are sort of citizens of King Gesar's kingdom in their own emotional way. And I think that's super interesting. And the way that they do this and the traditional ways, the modern ways, the ways they interact, to me, it's absolutely fascinating. And so it's really cool to be in Bhutan, where people have actually heard of King Gesar, which outside of Tibet is not very common.
Really?
No. And meanwhile, I'm in a country where His Majesty the King actually has Gesar in his name, which is just super cool.
Yeah, for your study.
Like yes, new King Gesar, 21st century. But it's really real. Every single thing he did in the epic is word for word. And then a lot of people fall in the middle where we say there was definitely a King Gesar about 1,000 years ago who did conquests, who did it for these reasons, who did things around that time. But the story has probably been made much more mythical over the past 1,000 years, because that's what happens with stories of kings. Stories of kings, they get greater. We hear about the stories become more mythical over time, even with kings that we have 100% proof were absolutely real people. And so I definitely fall into that last group where I think that there was a historical King Gesar. And I also think that the story has probably been expanded over the years.
More also into looking at more resources from Bhutan as well.
I hope
Right now, you have been to the source, where you also said that...
I've been to like the birthplace in Tibet and things like that.
And then you're in a country where many people, and we have a king, we have the real Gesar here,
Yeah.
For me, my belief was that when I grew up, Gesar is more like a mythical figure.
Yeah.
And, and our kings are very much like that superhero, and we grew up with that kind of attitude. And here you are, who is actually studying the whole concept of Gesar, and you met many Bhutanese here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so many cool people.
Yeah. In a sense, as per your research, your findings, do you see any differences or similarities in people's behavioral or thought processes between the people at the source? And like, we are more like a practitioner island. Now more like, in terms of that perspective.
What I've found so far, and you have to understand, I have only been in Bhutan less than 3 weeks in my entire life. So please don't take what I'm saying as a professional opinion.
Yeah.
Bhutan.
It's a work in progress.
This is very much a work in progress. But in Eastern Tibet, where I generally do my work, people are sort of very much... So you have to understand, of course, in Tibet, there is not a king. And so there's a lot of people in Tibet who consider Gesar actively to be their king. Now, obviously, they know he's not alive right now, but emotionally, they consider themselves
the higher
to have him as their king. They consider themselves loyal to him. And here, I think there's definitely a lot of love for King Gesar, but it's not that same aspect because, of course, you have a king, which is going to make that feel very different. But there are, I've met a good number of people who are Gesar devotees or Gesar practitioners here. I know there are some Gesar temples.
So tell us about one Gesar temple, let's say.
Here in Bhutan? I haven't been to them yet because most of them are either difficult to reach or not open to the public.
Yet, okay.
Yes, because as noted...
But can you name it for the sake of me and my friends who are curious here? Like, there are many people commenting here. Yeah, come on, why not?
I believe that there's actually one on the Royal Palace grounds.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. This is what I have heard. I know it would not be open to the public, so I cannot personally confirm it.
Okay.
This is what I've heard from several people, is that there is
also
a Gesar temple on the Royal Palace grounds. And of course in Bumtang, where this Rinpoche has this monastery, there's specific Gesar temples there. And then, I've been to people's homes where on the Chusham, in addition to all, the many and Guru Rinpoche, you'll also find like Gesar right there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So cool.
I haven't been here long enough to be able to say there's a Gesar temple in such and such.
I was just like
such and such Dzongkha.
Yeah.
Sorry. I wish I could give you that.
So guys, we've been talking too much, and I'm sure many of you got a lot of interesting insights of the same story that I'm trying to reveal for myself through my friends.
It's really fun.
Yeah, it's been really fun.